Among the very first skills you'll need to master as a diver is how to properly assemble your scuba unit. Before we get into that, however, we need to take a minute and talk about scuba cylinder safety. When full, your scuba cylinder contains enough explosive energy to lift a fire truck over 1 meter up in the air. A scuba cylinder that is knocked over or falls over accidentally can suffer catastrophic valve damage. This can lead to a scuba cylinder that's spinning wildly out of control, a literal rocket that can not only damage other items, it can cause very serious personal injury. When you visit your local SDI dive center, you'll most likely see a number of cylinders standing upright. What you may not be aware of, however, is that these cylinders are almost always tucked in a corner or standing with other cylinders up against a wall, where the odds of them being knocked over are fairly slim. One place where you won't see cylinders standing upright unattended is on dive boats. Instead, you'll see cylinders properly stowed securely in special storage racks, or, barring this, lying flat on the deck and blocked so they don't roll. One habit you'll want to develop early on is never leaving a cylinder standing unattended. If you must leave a cylinder unattended, lay it on its side. If you've already assembled your scuba unit, lay it so that the equipment is on top and won't be damaged by the weight of the tank. Before you begin, if you have the opportunity, soak your cam band in water. This will allow it to stretch and reduce the likelihood of the tank accidentally slipping. On yoke-style valves, you'll want to inspect the valve O-ring. You should have a smooth, shiny appearance and not be dried up, cracked, shredded, nicked, or otherwise damaged. Replace any worn or damaged O-rings before continuing. To start, orient the cylinder so that the valve orifice is facing away from you. This helps ensure that the regulator's second stage hoses will be on your right, and the instruments and low-pressure inflator hose will be on your left. Next, slip the BC cam band over the top of the cylinder and lower it into place. The BC should be on the same side of the cylinder as the valve orifice. Position the BC so that the top of the shoulders are roughly the same height as the tank valve. Later, you can check to make sure that the cylinder is low enough so that the regulator doesn't hit you in the head, but high enough so that you can reach back and access both second stage hoses. If need be, you can raise or lower the cylinder at that time, and make a note of this position for future use. To lock the BC firmly in place, pull out as tight as you can on the cam band. Now fold the cam buckle over halfway and insert the tip of the cam band through the tip of the buckle. Once you've done this, fold the buckle over the rest of the way. You should both hear and feel it snap into position. As a final check, push up and down firmly on the cam band to make certain it's as tight as possible. Now remove the dust cap from the regulator first stage and orient the regulator so that the second stage is around the right and the instruments and BC inflator hose are on the left. The first stage should be turned so that the first stage inlet is pointing directly at the cylinder valve outlet. Mate these two openings together and then turn the yoke screw or DIN connector until they are just finger tight. Before going any further, connect the low pressure inflator hose to the BC power inflator. Before turning the air on, pick up the submersible pressure gauge and make sure it's pointing down and away from you or anyone else. When you're ready, turn the air all the way on. Now look at the pressure gauge and confirm that the cylinder indeed has sufficient air for the planned dive. You should next take several breaths from both second stages to confirm that they are functioning properly. While you do this, look at the pressure gauge. The pressure should not be dropping or fluctuating at all while you breathe. If you've not done so already, your final step should be to secure your alternate air source second stage in a proper retainer and to clip off your instrument console or pressure